Genesis 22 verse 18 reads, "And through your offspring all nations of the earth will be blessed, because you have obeyed my voice." Genesis 22 verse 18 is a significant verse within the context of biblical narratives. After Abraham's test of faith, where he was asked to sacrifice his son, God reaffirms his promises to Abraham, specifying the blessings that will come to him and his seed because of his faithfulness.
Some individuals contend that the reference to the seed in Genesis 22 verse 18 does not pertain to Jesus, citing his statement in Matthew 15 verse 24 as a basis for their argument. Instead, they posit that this reference should be associated with Muhammad, drawing support from Surah 21 verse 107 of the Quran. They believe Ishmael is the son who is to be nearly sacrificed, not Isaac. The articulation of their argument is as follows. In Genesis 22 verse 18 it is stated, "And through your offspring all nations of the earth will be blessed, because you have obeyed my voice." The Hebrew term for offspring or seed is zerah, which can function as a collective singular noun, suggesting that it may refer either to an individual or a group. Conversely, in Matthew 15 verse 24 Jesus declares, "I was sent only to the lost sheep of the house of Israel." This declaration is interpreted by some to imply that Jesus' mission was predominantly directed towards the Israelites, rather than encompassing all nations outright. This interpretation is utilized to argue that Jesus does not fulfill the universal promise articulated in Genesis 22, verse 18, which emphasizes blessings for all nations. In support of their argument, proponents reference Surah 21, verse 107 in the Quran, which states, "And we have not sent you, O Muhammad, except as a mercy to the worlds." This verse is viewed as indicative of Muhammad's universal mission, which extends to all of humanity, aligning seamlessly with the promise of blessing for all nations mentioned in Genesis 22, verse 18. Advocates of this position argue that given Jesus' explicit reference to his mission being limited to the Israelites, he falls short of fulfilling the universal dimension of the blessing foretold in Genesis 22, verse 18. In contrast, Muhammad is characterized in the Quran as a mercy extended to all worlds. Thus, they assert that the seed referenced in Genesis 22, verse 18, pertains to Muhammad rather than to Jesus. The validity of this argument hinges on the interpretation of the scope of Jesus' mission as presented in the New Testament, juxtaposed with the universal mission ascribed to Muhammad in the Quran.